Evgeny Lebedev is here. Since taking control of the Evening Standard in 2009 and the Independent in 2010, he has become a leading figure in the British media. The last 3 years have seen an extraordinary reversal of fortunes for those once struggling newspapers. Lebedev has instituted innovative business practices to ensure the future of the papers, but he is concerned with the ethical as well as the financial health of the industry. In his statement to the Leveson inquiry, he said his aim was to support journalism that aids Britain's democracy. I am pleased to have him here at this table for the first time. Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
Your story is interesting. You're now a British citizen.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Tell me first, because it is a well-known story of your father, former member of the KGB.
Foreign intelligence.
Former foreign intelligence, colleague of Vladimir Putin. Now a very successful businessman in Russia and outspoken.
For which he's being constantly reprimanded.
And reminded by either the Prime Minister or the President, depending on what job Vladimir Putin has.
Not necessarily Prime Minister, but certainly we've had all sorts of organizations at our doorstep recently, from the police to the tax authorities, central bank, prosecutor general's office, FSB, even the fire brigade. So the only people who's yet to turn up.
FSB being the successor to the KGB.
KGB, yes, absolutely.
And why are they doing that?
For various reasons, but I think one of the most important ones is Novaya Gazeta, which is a newspaper in Russia, which was founded together with Gorbachev back in the 90s. And it's a newspaper that the only one that actually openly speaks out against those in power, in positions of power, who do things wrong.
Interesting, too, because that is a minority ownership by the workers, does it not?
Yes, it does. Actually, majority. It's
majority.
51%. Yeah, that was done on purpose to make sure that the journalists feel that they're in control of the newspaper. And it's a newspaper where 5 journalists have been killed in the last 10, 15 years. And it comes under great pressure. And we, the Lebedevs, come under great pressure because of that. I mean, there are all sorts of rogue elements who don't like the fact that this newspaper is investigating them, that it's investigating their wrongdoing. But it's the only one that actually holds those in power to account. Where I come from on this, or where my family comes from on this, and having grown up in the country, like Soviet Union, where freedom of expression, freedom of press was simply not there. I remember there was a great saying that there is no Pravda in Izvestia and no Izvestia in Pravda, which were the 2 Soviet newspapers, and one of them named News was called News, and the other one was called Truth. So there was no truth in news and no news in truth. Yes.
Yeah,
but we've certainly moved a long way from there. We've got freedoms now. People can travel out, people can speak out. But the type of censorship that now exists, and it's not just in Russia, it's in other countries of the world, is not so much institutionalized censorship. So it's not, in the Soviet Union, you just couldn't speak out, you couldn't print. Whereas now you can, but certain things are being kept quiet, and certain things are being repressed. So this is what we're trying to fight against. And
then why did you decide to seek your fortune in Britain?
I went to Britain in the 1980s when I was still a child. I went to school there, and I stayed on. I love London. I love Britain. As much as I love Russia, though, I have to say,
I love Moscow. I love St. Petersburg.
Yes, absolutely. I think once a Russian, always a Russian.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't. It's a very strong national identity, and that's one of the things that actually really upsets me, is that now the perception of Russia and Russians is a very negative one. It's
the perception of Russia by Russians.
No, but Russia and
Russia.
Russians. Yeah,
right.
Not by Russians. So it's perception of Russia outside, Russia and Russians. So it's either slightly dodgy and slightly shady businessmen, or very ruthless and very